It's not the long flowing dress that you're in, or the light coming off of your skin. It's not the way you... What are you doing, buddy? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, Thursday Night Learning Lab. He's just more annoyed tonight. He doesn't want to sing. He's like, I'm not just your trained monkey. You can't just play a guitar and expect me to sing melodious tones. Right? Right, dog? Right? A minor? Oh, A minor will get you every time. In a westerly direction, this car is my train. I've been driving, I've been wondering what it is I'm running from again. Feel like an 80-year-old man holding on to 29. Get up ahead on that horizon is California line. Up ahead of trucks carrying a wide load, prefab house cut in half, cute little front door and two windows, my love. Ain't sure whether to cry or should laugh. You see, I broke home up myself once as I stumbled to that door. I read a note by the dawn's light, said, don't you come round here anymore. I've had enough of this freedom of the road. Never was good with decisions, at least that's what I've been told. Yeah! Thank you, Sherry D. Nice hoodie. Yep, that's the AI Salon 1-year anniversary hoodie. I'm excited by it. It's nice. It's a nice print. A very nice print. It looks lovely. Lovely. Great name for a band. Melodious Tones. I like it. I like it. Champy, you want to join Melodious Tones? I think you're the lead singer. I'm just playing backup to you, dude. All right, I'm feeling better. My eyes look a bit more clear. Still a little stuffy, and you know we're gonna have to deal with that. Let me take off the hoodie because I'm gonna get too hot and bothered. You don't want me hot and bothered, right, Champy? All right. Oh, very nice. Very nice. We got the little GPT-for-good sheep. Danielle did that. Be Not Afraid did that. I think it's a cute little thing. I posted it. Go Kyle, love your voice. Thank you, Cam Catkin. I appreciate that. Every now and again, if you know what's funny about singing is if in your mind you think I can't sing, you sing shitty. And if your mind, you just go, oh, fuck it, then you're fine. It's the weirdest thing. And it's like on a note-by-note basis. Like if the doubt creeps in as you're about to hit a note, it goes, you just missed the note. It's just the weirdest thing. You definitely have to get in the zone with singing. The white hoodie doesn't make it easy to comment. Yeah, exactly. Does it, Precious? Exactly. Oh, man. Welcome to the AI Learning Lab. Let me check in here for a second. Get myself all recombobulated. So 2 days from now, Saturday, December 30th, starting at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Ann Murphy and I are doing this thing called GPT-for-good. It's a 24-hour, because I know how to make good life decisions. It's a 24-hour session where she and I are going to alternate. Every 3 hours, each of us are going to be teaching how to make GPTs for nonprofits or the cause of your choice. Or you can just come make a GPT. It doesn't matter if you make it for a nonprofit. But if you do make it for a nonprofit, we want you to share it with the hashtag GPT-for-good. And yeah, I'm excited about that. So that happens Saturday starting at 6 a.m. Sal, dear Kyle, or hey Kyle, I hope you're feeling better. I am feeling much better. I definitely, what was it, Wednesday? What's today? Thursday. So Tuesday I went live against doctor's orders. There was no doctor's orders. I took Christmas off. And then Wednesday I was like, Tuesday I was like, the show must go on. And that was probably not a good call because I was still feeling pretty shitty. And then last night I was a little better. I'm drinking hot. This is, for those of you into the tea scene, this is elderberry and echinacea and eucalyptus and mint. So I did. It's just a hell's brew, but it's good. All right. Fantastic. I had an artificial intelligence soup for dinner tonight, thanks to Chat-gpt. Well, I hope you used real ingredients. That's awesome. Yeah, it's crazy how it can just whip up a recipe for you, isn't it? I've done those before. I took a bunch of drink recipes to a whiskey club night. The first night I joined this whiskey club, and I took some Chat-gpt drink recipes, and 2 of them were really good, and 1 of them was just awful. And I was like, yeah, it's just making shit up. But, you figure it's got to be based on, someone put some drink recipes somewhere on the internet, and that's, they got amalgamated into your little bash. So that was fun. Anyway, welcome. My name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. We talk about all things AI here. What I figure I'll do tonight is I'm going to start working on GPTs, and I'm going to start talking about what we're going to do on Saturday. So if you've got GPT-4, feel free to build along tonight. What we're doing on Saturday is you don't need to have any expertise, no technical knowledge. You do need to have a Chat-GPT-4 subscription. So if you don't have that, get one. If you want to join. And then if you know anyone in the nonprofit space or anyone who's trying to do good in their community, let them know about this event. So let me share with you, shall I? But Kyle, how do I find this swell event? All right, so that's the event. I'm putting the AI Salon, which is a community I started about a year ago, is doing this in conjunction with Empowered Fundraiser, Ann Murphy's organization. She really knows about this nonprofit stuff. I just know tangential. I've done a lot of work in nonprofit. I've been on boards, things like that. But I don't know the world that well. She really knows the world well. And so she and I are going to be alternating every 3 hours. I'm doing the 9s and the 3s. She's doing the 6s and the 12s, and all Pacific time. And yeah, it'll just be on this channel here for me, and then she's got her own Zoom channel. And so how you get to the info is go to the salon.ai, go to this URL. And this is the URL to the AI Salon. The first 2 links are basically to the same place, but the second link is the link specifically to this event. And so it'll take you over to the AI Salon channel, and it will drop you on this page, the GPT-for-good challenge. Actually, I'm going to edit this. I'm going to add something here. 24-hour GPT for Good challenge. Can I do a shift return there? No, I can't. Continue that message. There we go. 24-hour GPT for Good challenge. And so you can RSVP here. We've got 25 RSVPs. I assume we'll have, and we're also putting this in lots of other places. So you can just show up. You don't have to RSVP, though it would be nice to know if you're coming. We talk about why we're doing it, what it's about, and then the event snapshot. So here's info on Ann and I, and then here is the schedule. So she does the first session at 6 a.m. Saturday morning. She volunteered for that slot. I was going to start at 9, but she was like, no, I'll take 6. I'm like, you go for it. But then I'm going to have to, show up and at least say hi for the opening event, don't you think? So we're starting bright and early. That's Pacific time, so it's 9 a.m. Eastern time. And then at 9 a.m. Pacific, I go here on TikTok, and then we basically just do that for 24 hours. Because again, we know how to make good life decisions. Isn't that cool? And then what we're going to do is you just show up for the thing. If you have no experience with ChatGPT other than you bought a Plus subscription and you've been just messing around with it, but you've never made a GPT, we're going to make a GPT that's going to be basically like an educational GPT for your nonprofit or your cause of choice, that will answer questions about it, about the organization, about volunteering, about all that sort of stuff, based on the information you have on the website for the organization, which I think is super cool. So we'll teach you how to do that, build that. We'll give you a couple little advanced options, and basically within an hour, you'll have built a fully functional custom GPT that you can use for your organization or someone else's organization. And it'll even do a call to action to the donate page. That's the thing I'm actually really excited about. All right. So that's what that's going to be. That's very helpful for nonprofit organizations. Yeah. Thanks, Jesse from Austin. I'm excited about it. It was so what this came out of was, not that long ago. How long ago was it? I don't know. I know when it was. November 30th, I decided to do a 24-hour ChatGPT-a-thon in celebration of the 1-year anniversary of ChatGPT. And then someone said, hey, Kyle, this was a week ago Thursday. Someone said, hey, Kyle, you should do another 24-hour thing. And I'm like, you're a dum-dum. And then I was like, wait a minute. We've got the week off in between Christmas and New Year. Why don't we do this? We'll do a 24-hour thing. Maybe I'll team up with Ann Murphy. I just said it out loud. And then either she was on the call or something like that, but she found out about it. She's like, I'm in, let's do this. And so we decided to do this. And then the next day I was diagnosed with COVID. But I think I'm on the mend enough that I think I'll be fine for Saturday. But no good deed goes unpunished in this world. Who has the week off between Christmas and New Year? Apparently all of the pharmaceutical industry. Is this like Jerry Lewis telethon without the big band, the dancing bears, and cheesy magicians? It's exactly like that, Spike Jones. It's got all of the comedic stylings of Kyle Shannon, on the 9s and the 3s, and then Ann Murphy's great. She's just a ball of energy. She's really good at this stuff. So the other cool thing, the thing I'm kind of excited about is I'm also encouraging, if you've built GPTs before, if you're expert at this, if you're like Lunarstick who's made 50 of these things, I want everyone to come to these because you can support new people that are trying to figure this out and have questions. And so I'll be sort of going on and, doing my down the rabbit hole kind of thing. And so you can all support one another. And so even if you come, for one of the early ones, make a GPT and then come to the later ones and improve on your GPT or build another one, why not? I want it to be a fun event. So yeah, just like the telethon, without the raising money and without the star power. Although I did tag Sam Altman in a tweet today and said, Sam, what do you think? He hasn't retweeted me yet because, he's jealous and all. That happens. What are you going to do? All right, these 24-hour marathons are killing me. 4 hours is more my speed. I know. So Source Camp, it's going to be the same lesson repeated over and over and over again. You don't have to come to all of them. I think you are sufficiently up to speed on GPTs. But feel free to share with anyone you know. And there's no excuse for someone who's, in some other part of the world, or like I'm traveling, whatever. There's no excuse. Every 3 hours for 24 hours, there's going to be one of these. Someone can fit it in their schedule. All right. Let me talk some more about the AI salon. So this little ragtag bunch of people here. So this community I started when I learned about Chat-gpt. I was fairly deep into the AI game, doing generative AI stuff with Stable Diffusion and Dream Booth and things like that. And I'd started an art project, and I was fairly deep in the game. But it didn't. It felt interesting, but not significant. And then Chat-gpt came out, and I was like, "Oh shit! This is really significant. This is bigger than the early days of the web." And so I was fortunate enough to be in New York City in the mid 90s when the web came onto the scene. I co-founded agency.com, which was one of the first digital agencies, but I also started a group called the World Wide Web Artists Consortium, which was basically just a shameless attempt on my part to surround myself with people that knew more than I did about the World Wide Web. And guess what I discovered? Nobody knew fucking anything. Nobody knew anything. Everyone was trying to figure it out. And it was really about a 2 or 3 year period where there were no experts. You couldn't get a degree in it. You couldn't hire someone out of college with those skills. Everyone had to figure it out on their own. And so having a community like that was incredibly powerful. So when Chat-gpt came out, I immediately knew I got to do this. So we started this AI salon. So Leah Faston, who's a professional photographer out of Boston, she and I were talking about this AI stuff. And when Chat-gpt came out, I said, "Let's start this thing." And she was like, "I'm in, let's go." And so we started this the week after Chat-gpt came out. So we just celebrated our 1 year anniversary. Just had my 1 year anniversary sweatshirt on, my hoodie. And that's what the community is. It's like a support group. We just recently, 2 months ago, we launched this online community on Mighty Networks. And we just cracked 500 members on the online community, which is great because I think we had 700 or 800 on Discord. But, a lot of people join, and Discord's hard, so a lot of people didn't use it. So we just hit the 500 mark here. If you come to the AI Salon Mighty Networks, go to the Welcome to the Salon page, and it'll talk about who we are, why we do what we do, what we're trying to accomplish. But then also it talks about our values, things like curiosity and generosity. Like, if you learn something, share it. Don't hoard it. Share your knowledge, because this stuff's moving so fast that even if it seems like it's proprietary and really good for you to hold on to it right now, it's going to be obsolete in 2 months anyway. So you might as well share it. And what it's done is it's created a really amazing community here that is super generous. Exploration's one of our values. Collaboration's one of our values. Inclusion, empathy. Empathy is a big one for me because as exciting as this AI stuff is, and this channel is a testament to how excited and optimistic I am about this stuff, but I also recognize, thank you, Winston, I appreciate that. I also recognize that these technologies are profound, and a lot of people are scared. A lot of people are angry. Most of the people that are scared and angry have not used the tools. They're making a lot of assumptions about how they work and how evil they are and all that sort of shit. And so a big part of this channel is demystifying that, but it's also understanding that people are in that place. And so the whole idea of the salon is we want people to be able to come there, and no matter where they are on this journey. I had someone last night on the live said when they came to the live, they were vehemently against AI, and now they're totally into it because they learned about it. And once they learned about it, it sort of brought down all of those preconceived notions and opened things up. So that's that. And then the other thing that if you decide you want to join, if you resonate with those values and with what we're about, great. Then jump into the introduce yourself section and introduce yourself and be generous. Use one of our values and tell us who you are and what you're about. And then there's water cooler discussions. There's a show and tell channel, which a lot of what shows up, GPT-for-good. Oh, that's really nice. Thank you, Kate. That's really cool. A lot of what shows up in show and tell here is based on what we're talking about in this channel. So I'll make some stupid joke, and then a bunch of images of that stupid joke end up in show and tell, which is fun. So that's a super cool one, Cindy Coon. Nice. Go with the flow. I like it. So anyway, so that's that. And then the other thing that is in the salon are guilds. So we've got Peter Kaminsky's got an AI 101 guild. Leah, my co-founder, has got an art guild. There's a writers guild by Jane, a business guild with Ken and Bradley. Pate's got the AI mechanics guild. JRC's got the healthcare guild. There's a video guild by Scott, and we're just about to open the education guild with Matt and Stacy, Mr. K. If you see him here on what you call it, on the TikTok, Mr. K is going to be heading up that with Stacy, just me and the trees. Been introducing fellow cruising passengers about AI. Lots of Kevin-Mcallister moments. Are you on that 9-month cruise, Source Camp? Are you on the 9-month Nightmare from Hell cruise? Or did you just go for like a week? I think it's awesome you're teaching people about AI on a cruise ship. It's like they can't escape. Sit down. Source Camp, no. Just a week. All right, good. That's awesome. Sal is one of those from Fear to Fantastic Converts, I think. Great. Yeah, that's right. I think it was Sal. I think you're right, Emilio's wife. Captive audience. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm bored. Yeah, I'm bored too. Do you want to eat some more? Nah. You want to learn about AI? Not really. Come on, I'll teach you anyway. Okay. Hey, that's kind of... Oh my God! I like it. I fully support. I fully support the AI ambush. In fact, I encouraged it with people home with their families. Just talk about it. But they're gonna think I'm a weirdo. They already think you're a weirdo. You're already the black sheep. You might as well just lean into it. Oh, all right. Sal. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Sal. Yes, I am. And now I'm trying to convert others. That's the thing about people who are vehemently against something that then convert. They're insufferable because they knew what it was like to be in that sort of arms crossed kind of defensive mode about AI. And Sal acutely understands the difference between what he thought it was and what it actually is. And honest to God, once you get what it really is, like it's the only way I can explain learning more and more about AI is just it's this sort of parting of the clouds, right? And just there's this clarity that opens up and this possibility that just seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's wild. It's wild. So, yeah. All right. Joker. Actually, I have 4 platforms and models running locally. Oh, Joker, you're just showing off now. I've got a couple of models that I installed and ran once, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to keep using OpenAIs. Because it's like, it's the best. If I had stuff I was doing that I really wanted a local version, or if I, but I just kind of need to know, how's this shit working? And it's good enough to use the commercial shit right now. That said, I think the open source movement is critically important, and I think what the open source community is going to do is they're going to drive better and better models, smaller and smaller and more efficient. So as hardware continues to follow Moore's law, these large language models are going to sort of catch up, and we're going to be able to install very high quality large language models that run locally on a device. And what that means is you don't need an internet connection. Like you could have the full power of at least GPT 3.5, maybe even GPT-4 on your phone without needing an internet connection. Like when I think about how powerful that is, because if you think about what Chat-gpt really is, you take all of the knowledge that's been dumped onto the internet in the past 40 years. It's a lot. And all of these models have been trained on most of the shit that's out there in the public internet, right? There's lots of other data sources that aren't in it, but a lot of the public internet is captured. And so imagine being able to have instant access to all of the knowledge of everything that's been dumped on the internet without needing an internet connection. So imagine third world countries and places that don't have access, and maybe they do have mobile phones, but they don't always have connectivity. Things like, medical emergencies and diagnosis and things like that. And as these models get stronger and stronger with multimodal capabilities, the ability to take a picture of a wound or a broken bone or whatever it might be, an eye infection, and have that immediately diagnosed with all of this stuff. I mean, it's crazy. Tanqueray Kush, hello Kyle, hope all is well in your world. It is improving in my world. We had 4 out of 4 Shannon family members, well, minus Champ. Champ didn't test positive for COVID yet. he seems to have skirted it, but the 4 adults in the house all got it, and the others other than me are immunocompromised, so it was a pretty serious deal. But got them all on Paxlovid and or Paxlovid, I don't know how you say that, and they seem to be on the mend, so all's good, and I'm on the mend. I've still got a scratchy voice. I'm still a little snotty, but like. It's mostly gone. I woke up this morning. I actually cleaned my little infirmary area, vacuumed. It's not like me. So I had a lot of energy, and then I did like 90 minutes of intense. I did the dishes. I did vacuuming. I'm like, okay, I'm back. This is good. And then my body was like, hey asshole, go back to bed. I was like, oh yeah. I was sick. So, oh man. The one I got running last night just kept saying, I need your help. How much money is involved? Yeah, that's not a large language model, Joker. I'm pretty sure that's a different kind of application you installed there, buddy. I can help you with that. I think you installed this in your computer.
You can make money with Chat-gpt.
For $19.95, just $19.95 and 4 easy payments, I can teach you how to make money with Chat-gpt. It's a very different application than Chat-gpt, buddy. Have I taught you nothing? Apparently. Oh, man. All right. Let's see. My wife is still recovering from COVID herself. Hey, Mr. K, what's happening? I am excited to get the Education Guild up and running. I'm really, really fucking stoked about that. I hope your wife feels better. Any insight or comment on the New York Times case against Microsoft and OpenAI? It's an important one. I doubt very seriously it will hit the courts, right? I think they'll settle before then. It's in no one's interest, including the New York Times, to shut down arguably the most powerful, most popular piece of software in history. They just want their cut of the action. They cut a deal with Google, $100 million with Google in May, which, as someone pointed out, I think Ted pointed out, someone pointed out, was not really an AI deal, but it was a big deal with Google. So it's interesting to me that they didn't sue Google, right? They've got $100 million deal with Google, so they didn't sue them. So they're just, they're suing. And shortly before Altman was fired, maybe like the month before they were fired. They were apparently in negotiations with the Times to do something, and those talks apparently fell apart. And so, I understand why they're doing it. I think that the data scientists and the lawyers arguing for the good of humanity are going to be able to completely dismantle the Times lawsuit, but you never know. Like, if they end up not settling and if they end up taking it to court, it could really fuck up the industry. I don't think anyone's going to let that happen. Like, there's too much money involved. There's too many big players involved to let it, completely just tank an industry. But that said, it's an important case, right? And this will establish some boundaries about what the rules of the game are. And whether they settle or go to court, this is going to establish some boundaries. I just doubt very seriously they're gonna flush it all down the toilet. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense for anyone involved, including the Times, right? Because the Times is going to want to use. They're going to want their content to be part of the AI fabric that's getting incorporated in everything, right? If the Times just remains behind this paywall off to the side, and you can't actually access any New York Times data in any kind of official way through these large language models, it just doesn't make any sense. Right now they're like, well, this is my horse and buggy, and we're sticking to horses, and we'll sue you with your fancy motorized vehicles. We support horses. That's a bit of what's going on right now. But that's to be expected. That's to be expected. It's the old gray lady, right? She's been around for a while. She's had her ass handed to her by the shift to digital, and now all of a sudden you got these large language models that can just scoop all the shit out of your archives and make it accessible for free. It's totally freaking them out. Like, how are we going to make money with this? Well, you're going to cut $50 and $100 million deals with the people that do this shit. They'll figure that out. So that's my thoughts on it. Again, I'm not in this world, the legal world, the copyright world. I'm not in it. I just look at it peripherally from the outside and look at the larger trends and who are the players and how much money's involved and how these things have played out historically. So it's the headlines are juicy, right? Is OpenAI going to have to shut down Chat-gpt? Awesome headline. Let's run it. Go A1 with that. No, they're not. No. Good headline. Oh my God, they're going to shut down Chat-gpt. Did you hear? It's so crazy. It's so crazy. They're going to shut it down. Everybody was using it. Everybody seemed to like it. I heard the robots were going to kill us. Did you really? Yes. Where did you hear that? It was some movie I saw 10 years ago. Oh, the fucking robots are going to kill us. Have you used the robots? They can barely fucking spell. Okay? People, calm down. The robots that are going to kill us, those are at least 3 years out. Jeez. Doesn't anyone know anything? You should do that. You should do a video on that, Mr. K. Hey, teachers, come on in. The water's fine. The really bad robots don't show up for another year or two. You could just hear them scattering off the ship. This is why we can't have nice, intelligent things. Exactly. Don't let me near your legal arguments. I will flush this shit down the toilet. Cue the creepy music. Goodbye, horses. Buggy whips are back. Oh, I made a comment on someone's post. I forget which one it was. Someone posted. The fuck did they say? Oh, it was some cockamamie fucking thing about I think Gartner did a report that like 20% of marketers said they're going acoustic, which was like a hip term for we're not going to use AI to cater to the audience that, you know, is afraid of AI. And that like I made that horse and buggy comment then. I'm like, okay, 20% of marketers are saying we're backing the horses for our customers that are afraid of those stinky, noisy motors. It was the most ridiculous thing I'd seen. Like whatever. We're in a situation where you've got 80% of people have not used ChatGPT. We're just very early in this. So of course you're going to have a huge chunk of consumers that are like, I'm afraid of AI. I don't want AI. Does that mean they're going to be afraid of it once they use it? No. It just means they haven't used it. Like, don't plan your future fucking marketing on the fact that 80% of the people haven't tried something yet without you deeply understanding it as a marketer. It's one of the reasons we're doing the GPT-for-good for nonprofits is I think that nonprofits are some of the organizations that are going to benefit the most from AI, both in their programs and in development and fundraising, because nonprofits are chronically understaffed on both the development and administration side and on the program side. These tools can amplify both sides of that equation. And from what I hear from Ann Murphy and other people that I've talked to, the nonprofit world is fucking terrified of AI. And they've got all these moral soapboxes about it's evil and it's bad and it's stealing and it's not accurate and da-da-da-da-da. It's all the same arguments from people who haven't used it. And so why we're doing this thing on Saturday is to just get your hands on it. Start playing with it. Build a GPT. You don't have to launch it publicly. Just build it. See what it does. And same with marketers. If you're in a big corporation, like I would say two things. If you're in a big corporation and you're a secret cyborg, so secret cyborgs, it's a term coined by Ethan Mullock, excuse me, to talk about people in corporations that are getting secretly AI literate. If you're one of those, I would strongly suggest you step out of the shadows and start talking about what you know and what you're learning. If you're in a large organization and you're sitting back going, oh, well, we'll get to it in 2 or 3 years. We've got time. You don't. You don't. Get off your ass and get curious. Wow, it's very conservative here, and we hear that it's not very secure. Okay, great. So don't use it for critical company data, but like maybe have it help you write an email. Like it's being built into Office 365. Maybe learn what it can do sitting inside the software that you're already using. Wow, I've got time. Do you? This stuff's coming fast, and it's accelerating in its capability. And so the longer you wait, the more painful the transition's going to be. And the higher the risk of one of your competitors getting up to speed on this stuff and being able to outcompete you, either outprice you, outdeliver you, do it more quickly. I think the advertising holding companies are in trouble if they don't get their shit together. Because they're sitting back, you know, all cocksure like, bro, we're good. We've been doing this for decades, little Skippy. That's what they said to me when I started agency.com in 1994. This digital thing. We do real advertising. That's the Super Bowl commercials. We win Emmys for those. Attitude's still there. This one's bigger than the World Wide Web, kids. You better look over your shoulder because it's coming quick and it's a lot bigger. All right. There's a lot of ego in nonprofits. I have stories, especially when local politicians get involved. Yeah, I'm sure. And again, like, my goal for Saturday is just I hope we have some fun and some people learn some shit. I I think what's going to happen in nonprofits is probably what's happening in corporations, where it's going to start with secret cyborgs. It's going to start with people lower in the organization secretly getting up to speed on AI, having it help them do their job better, not necessarily telling their bosses about it, because maybe they're getting done in 20 hours what used to take them 40 hours, or they're getting done in 10 hours what used to take them 40 hours. We don't necessarily want Janie to know what's happening, right? So I think we'll see some of that. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have a handful of breakout nonprofits that embrace this shit and start out fundraising their competitors and out delivering on programs. They all want the credit and glory is why. Yeah, I know. That's every big corporation is that. It's still, thank you, Winston. I appreciate that. I still think it's in individuals' interest to make some noise that they know what's going on with this AI stuff. AI for president. It couldn't be worse than like some sort of AI run government based on some transparent constitution. I'd take that over the fucking nonsense that we call politics today. Our country isn't being run right now at all. We're being bamboozled willingly. All right, let's see. Tyrant Truth. Hey, Kyle, what's shaking? How are you? Daily reminder is that AI is way more than LLMs. Good point, Pate. It is. Absolutely. Although, I'd argue that LLMs are going to be our gateway initially. And again, Pate, as soon as your humble little company there can launch your fancy new multimodal beast that's going to destroy the LLM of the day, Chat-gpt, I'm all there for it, but it ain't launched yet. So, Pate works for Google. Google's got some shit coming. Don't get me wrong. Don't count Google out. Like Google invented this shit. They invented the transformer, the thing that is the foundation. All the tools that we're playing with are all based on this thing called the transformer that Google actually invented. So, oh man, is for public yet? Is what for public yet? I don't know what that means. What happens to normal people jobs? They transform. Some will go away. Some will transform into new things. But the nature of work will change. It's not going to change overnight, but the nature of what each job is going to change dramatically, because AI is going to automate a lot of the tactical execution of almost every job. Kyle, can you explain the difference between the GPT you create and an AI assistant, Chat-gpt 4.0 paid version? Yeah, I can explain that. Sure. All right, let me go. Let me show you something. Okay. So this page used to be something that I showed a lot. There's two columns here. These are both Chat-gpt. Well, no, that's not true. These are both OpenAI. OpenAI is the company behind Chat-gpt. There's Chat-gpt, which is the thing on the left, and then there's the developer platform, which is called the Playground, platform.openai.com/playground. This is where developers go to build applications like Chat-gpt. So to understand this, the base model, what's called the frontier model, is called GPT-4. And that's the thing that's been trained on all the internet. Its knowledge cutoff date is April of 2023 at this point. They upgraded it from September 2021. And it's kind of this static model where they trained it on all this data, and it's sitting there just like a blob, a really powerful blob. In order to access that blob, you need to use what are called APIs, application programming interfaces. You do that from the developer side, right? So if you're someone that does no code automations with something like Zapier or Make, that's sort of the no code version of this, where you're tapping into the OpenAI underlying model with APIs, or you're actually just programming and you're writing your own applications that are making calls into this thing. Okay, so that's that. Let's jump over to the actual sites now. So here's Chat-gpt. You know, Pate is going to be so happy when what's it called? Gemini. When Gemini Ultra launches and I end up loving it and I start demoing it more than I used to demo Chat-gpt, he's going to be ecstatic. This channel has become like a giant fucking ad for Sam Altman and his merry little band of AI people, because no one's really caught him yet. But as soon as someone does, I'm telling you, this channel will switch. Okay, so here we are at Chat-gpt. So you have your large language model down here, and then you have Chat-gpt is an application that sits on top of that. So Chat-gpt is the thing that says, I want you to act like a really helpful assistant. When someone comes in and asks you for something, I want you to go down and look in your knowledge in the GPT-4 thing. And when it comes back, I want you to respond with this really positive, nice, here you go, boss. Need anything else? Oh, yeah, sorry, I misspelled that. Let me try again. All of that behavior is happening up at the application layer. So that's Chat-gpt-4. GPT-4 is the base model. Chat-gpt is the application sitting on top of that. There's also, you've got Microsoft's Copilot is sitting on top of GPT-4 as well, but it's a different application, which is why, even though Microsoft Copilot is tapping into GPT-4, it's not as good as OpenAI's Chat-gpt. Because the way they've got it set up, they've got so many safety guardrails in it, it really hobbles it, right? So it's a different application layer. And then the custom GPTs, the things that we're going to teach on Saturday at the GPT-for-good 24-hour-a-thon, those are just sort of, think of those as micro versions of Chat-gpt. Just sort of a version of Chat-gpt that's designed to do a specific task. Okay? So if I go over, so normal Chat-gpt, I can ask it anything because it's basically got all of the knowledge of, 40 years of the internet dumped into it, or a lot of it. GPTs are much more specific. Like I've got one here called Dreamweaver, and this is the second GPT I ever made, and this is it'll analyze your dreams. And then I've got another one. My first one, which is still one of my favorites, is called Sin City Sipper, and this will help you make a drink. So I want to invent a warm drink for the holidays based on bourbon. And Sin City Sipper, the holidays, a time for cozy gatherings. Sin City Sipper, holiday warmer. So it's going to come up with this drink that is a twist, a Vegas twist on a classic cocktail. And it's gonna give you, so this is bourbon, maple syrup, nice, orange bitters, nice, hot water, cinnamon stick, orange peel. I see orange people. A pinch of ground nutmeg, nice, sounds great. And then it will also make you the image of the drink. How cool is that? So this is a very specific version of Chat-gpt. So the difference between an AI assistant with OpenAI and a GPT is that the GPTs, think of the GPTs as the consumer version of AI assistants. So to make these, you don't need to know any coding whatsoever. So this is the consumer front end of Chat-gpt is Chat-gpt, and then the GPTs that you make and that we're going to be making on Saturday are, you don't need any coding. You can code, but you don't need it. If we conversely now flip over to the playground, so if I go to platform.openai.com/playground, I then come into this thing. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. There's this thing called an assistant. And so I made an assistant called 70s muscle car expert, and then I've got a prompt here, and I choose my GPT model so that you've got different models you can choose from that have different costs and have different advantages and disadvantages. So if you're gonna be creating an application for your website, for example, that is going to be doing thousands of calls a day, you might not want to use the most expensive model. You might not need to, right? So when you're developing in the playground, you need to understand things like, what do the different models do and what are their costs and things like that. You can then turn on things like retrieval, which is another word for knowledge. On the consumer side, this is called knowledge, and it's just an upload button. Here, you turn it on, you have to configure it, you add files to it. You can turn on or off code interpreter. You can turn on functions, so these are APIs. You can do a thing called threading, where you can have it, remember the conversation, and you can actually have one assistant generate other assistants and then communicate with them. So there's a lot more capability back here. But you have to know how to code, basically, right? And then, but how it works is very, very similar. So if I go in here and I say, tell me about the trees. Hang on, run. I think run instructions. Why is it not running? Oh. Cancel run. Oh, I've got a thread running here. Let's see. I don't quite understand. Enter a message. Tell me about the trees. Reflecting on these automotive giants gives enthusiasts of classic car fans a lot to admire. I'd love to hear about yourself. Tell me about the trees. Well, I'm just trying to figure out what it's doing here. Oh, I guess it had to spin up an instance and run, and then it answered it up here, up above. Can I stop this? Anyway, that's it. Cancel run. There we go. Certainly, the way trees change and adapt over the seasons can be quite reminiscent of how muscle cars evolved during the 1970s. So I have this thing prompted to be a 70s muscle car expert. And so when I give it a dumb little prompt like that, it'll always steer the direction back toward 70s muscle cars, which is fun, right? But it's a much more complicated environment to develop in, and you have to understand things like APIs and things like that. So that's the difference. Python coding, you can do it primarily, but any way you can call an API, I think most of the access right now is Python, but it can be all sorts of things. You can develop these things in whatever language you're developing in. Or you can use no-code tools like Zapier or Make. All right? So does that make sense? Woo! That was a rabbit hole. Fun, huh? You had to ask. Good Lord, Kyle. I didn't realize it was that complicated. Jeez. Gee willikers. Sal, yes. But then say you get it to do what you want, you would redo all of that each time. Is Sal asking about the GPTs? Why would you create a GPT? I'm assuming, Pate. All right. Sorry, but what's the point? Couldn't you ask the same thing from GPT-4? Yeah. So Sal, here's the difference. Yes, you could. So Pate's point there is really right. You can effectively think of GPTs as snapshots of an already focused chat. Exactly. So here, let me show you one, Sal, that might give you a reason why GPTs. What I am going to show you this. Okay. So this GPT, what is going on here? What? Sorry, I got a weird reflection. I don't know where that reflection's coming from. Okay, there we go. So this is a GPT called Salmon Flying East Screenplay Decoder. So my first screenplay I wrote in 1991 or 1992. I think it was 91. I wrote with Brian Dykstra in New York. And it's been sitting on a hard drive for 30 years. We got some interest in it, but we didn't sell it. So it's just been sitting there dormant. Well, one night someone asked me, hey, Kyle, you said that Chat-gpt might be good for doing storyboarding. How would that work? And I said, oh, well, let me try something. And so I went and I found this screenplay. And Chat-gpt-4 has the ability to upload files, right? And so I uploaded a text version of this file, of this screenplay that I wrote. And I said, hey, read this screenplay and then describe the first 10 visual moments of the film and describe what's happening in the screenplay and then describe what's happening visually. And then within like 20 minutes, I had storyboarded the first 10 minutes of this film in this really cool style. And I thought, oh, that's amazing. And then I thought, hey, wait a minute, I could turn this into a GPT. And so someone could take ChatGPT and they could say, hey, Kyle, send me your screenplay. I want to pop it into ChatGPT and I'm going to prompt it for things, right? And then I would send them my screenplay and then they would pop it in and they would prompt it. But by doing it as a GPT, I actually uploaded my screenplay into this GPT. I've pre-prompted it with a series of questions and I've pre-prompted it with a series of instructions for how I want it to behave. So basically, one of the main instructions I've built into this is whenever you describe a scene in the movie, I want you to generate a storyboard, like a frame from the film, to bring that thing to life. So I've got, like, can you show me, let's see, what happens in the first scene? Let's see, let's do that. What happens in the first scene of the movie? So that's one of the pre-prompted questions. And so it's now reading my screenplay, searching my knowledge, which is the screenplay. And I told it you can only use this screenplay as your knowledge. And then it's going to describe to me what happens in this. So I can now share this with the world, right? I can share this as a packaged entity. I can say, hey, I've got this cool screenplay. You can learn about it by playing with this GPT. No one has to do any prompting. They're literally just, they can ask it anything they want, but they're asking this specific knowledge base. So what this says is, the first scene of the screenplay, Salmon Flying East, is set in Gig Harbor, Washington, at the docks during pre-dawn hours of 1991. It opens with a view of the foggy northwest air hanging over the glassy water of the Puget Sound. A white fishing boat with a blue stripe is seen resting in a creaking slip. So it goes on to do that, and then it renders that scene. I mean, that's fucking remarkable. And so imagine this for a nonprofit. Let's say you've got a nonprofit and I don't know, it's about, storytelling for kids. And you could talk about the nonprofit and then you could have it automatically generate an illustration for a kid's book or an idea for a kid's book. And then it might also say, hey, by the way, if you want to donate to this swell organization, click here. And that's what we're going to build on Saturday. But I mean, this is remarkable. I can just give someone the URL to this interactive version of my screenplay. It totally brings this thing to life. I mean, what's absolutely wild to me is that frame right there, that it just created, like that's kind of what I had in my head when I wrote this thing in 1991. So it's pulling all the descriptions out of the screenplay and using it to like render a scene that, yeah, I mean, it's just remarkable. So that's why GPTs are important, because they allow everyday people to create standalone applications that are incredibly sophisticated, and do it without any coding knowledge. Like if you want to learn Zapier, which is what they call a no-code tool, you actually really have to learn programming. You have to learn programming logic. You don't have to learn the code, but you have to learn programming logic. You have to understand what an API is. You have to understand what API keys are. You have to understand how to connect different components together to get it to do different shit. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Excuse me. The COVID is wreaking havoc on my sinuses. With GPTs, you can literally just have an intention. I'd like to create a GPT that will help someone troubleshoot mechanical problems in their 1971 Ford Mustang. And you can build that. And you can share that with the world. And so that's what we're going to do all day Saturday, is teach people how to build these things. Can ChatGPT send an email, collect data, and send it to my portal or website? Not straight out of Brooklyn, not straight out of... the GPTs can't right now. So they've got actions in them. So if you learn how to use the actions, the APIs that are built into GPTs, you can do that. It might be easier to do something like that, Mr. IT, with Zapier, because Zapier has already got all the connections to Gmail and things like that. So I've built a number of things that will generate content at OpenAI and then format it into a Gmail and send it, or to post something to our Slack channel. So it might be easier to use Zapier right now. The API integration when you make these GPTs is still a little wonky. I'm guessing within 3 to 6 months, it'll probably be really trivial to be able to add API calls into your GPTs. It'll probably be like a marketplace where you can just sort of click on things and add it to your GPT. It's just not there right now. It requires you. Where should a beginner start learning AI? And are there projects you would suggest? That's a great question. Okay, I'm gonna change gears here for a second. I'm gonna flip over to the AI Salon. And I'm gonna go to a channel here. So the AI Salon, the thing I'm showing right here is part of this thing called the AI Salon, which I started about a year ago. And if you go to this URL, the salon.ai, oh, thank you, Lord Digital Gods, thank you for the ruses. As always, I appreciate the contribution. It makes a big difference. I appreciate it. Thank you. If you go to the salon.ai, it's a free community. It's a community of people all doing AI stuff. The first two links on this page right now, it's a link tree, are to this community called Mighty Networks. And the second link is all about this event we're having on Saturday called GPT-for-good. So this Saturday, on starting at 6 a.m. Pacific, myself and Ann Murphy from Empowered Fundraiser are doing this event called GPT-for-good. So we're going to teach people, how do I sign up for Saturday? You can just show up here. I'm doing 9 a.m., 3 p.m., 9 p.m., 3 a.m. on this channel, Pacific time. So you can just show up to this channel at those times, and I'll put reminders up. But you can also, if you go to the salon link from that address, if you go to the link to the event, it will drop you into it'll drop you into the GPT event. And in here you can RSVP. So right now we've got 27 people have RSVP'd, but you can also just show up to the event. If you want to RSVP here, that'd be great. It'll let us know, that people care, that they care enough to give the very best. And then here's the schedule. And there's links to Ann's Zoom meetings and to my TikToks. So session 1, Ann's going to do at 6 a.m. Session 2, I'm going to do at 9 a.m. This is all Pacific Standard. And then there's the schedule for all of the events. And it's going to be the same lesson over and over again, but she's going to teach it different than I will. And I'm going to encourage people to come to multiple sessions so you can ask questions and keep building. But back to your question, where should beginners start? Okay, I'm going to go to AI tools and resources in the AI Salon. This is a list that I maintain pretty regularly. Where you should start, in my opinion, is with Chat-gpt. It's the best. It is deep enough that you could probably spend the next 3 years just figuring out what you could do with Chat-gpt, even with just 3.5. So the free version of Chat-gpt is called Chat-gpt 3.5. The paid version, Chat-gpt Plus, is called Chat-gpt 4. In my opinion, Chat-gpt 4 is absolutely worth the $20 a month. If you can swing the $20 a month, do it. Like, do it. Do it. Do it. I get zero commission from OpenAI. Sam Altman doesn't like me. He's jealous of me. It's been well established. It's documented. The New York Times did a whole story on it. It's not true. I'm just an idiot. But I don't get any commission from this. But what Chat-gpt 4 can do is just mind-blowingly powerful. So just start with Chat-gpt, and then in terms of your question, the question's a really good one. Is there a project I should start with? The answer is yes, and it should be the project that you're currently trying to solve in some part of your life, right? So you've got this problem at work you can't get over the hump of. You've got a novel that you've always wanted to start, but you can't get off the thing. You've got a video game idea that you've got a rough outline of, and you want to take it to the next level. Any project, either for yourself or for someone else. Oh, my community center is trying to put together a new program, and they asked if I could help, and I don't really know if I can help. That's perfect. Rather than sitting in front of Chat-gpt, like the weird box just sits there staring at you like, what do you want to do? I can do anything. What do you want? Which is very intimidating. Start with a project. Start with something small. Start with, hey, I've got a friend who's trying to rewrite her resume. Great. Start there. Grab that. It rewrites resumes great. It'll write her a beautiful cover letter for a specific job. It'll reorder her resume and highlight the things for that specific job. It's incredible. So Chat-gpt by itself is like a car without windows, doors, hoods, trunk, or quarter panels or brakes. Well, that's more like the OpenAI playground is like that. Chat-gpt okay. So Chat-gpt is kind of like, okay, the OpenAI playground is kind of like, here's all the parts for your Tesla. And then you build a Tesla, and then you've got to write the software to make it run. Chat-gpt is kind of like a Tesla that can sort of steer, but it doesn't really have any of the software in it. And then the GPTs are like really specific software applications in your Tesla, right? Like, here's the one that makes it go fast and not slide around corners, right? Here's the one that helps you park easier. Here's the one that, right? So think of GPTs as specific little applications for your Tesla. The OpenAI playground is you can build your own Tesla and program your own Tesla. And there's a lot of pre-built parts. Like, you can treat the GPT playground like Lego blocks that you're just assembling shit that's already been built. Or you can build your own very, very sophisticated applications that use lots of other services and things like that. Chat-gpt itself is like a pre-built Tesla with just the basic shit on it, and then it can do everything, and then the GPTs are like specific applications within that Tesla. Okay, so that's where I would start. I would start with Chat-gpt and just learn what it can do. ChatGPT-4 does things like it's got internet access. It's got this thing called Code Interpreter where it can do data analysis. It's got GPT Vision where it can analyze images. It's got DALL-E 3 where it can generate images. So that Screenplay thing I just showed you where it generated a frame from the movie, that's using DALL-E 3. And then you can create and share these custom GPTs. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing on Saturday is building and sharing GPTs for nonprofits and for causes. And then there's lots and lots of other stuff to play with. So if you're really into image generation, there are a lot of different tools. What I have in this list are the ones I think are worth your time. They're like right now with AI, there are thousands, like 7,000, 8,000 AI tools that all do some specific thing, and they all purport to give you a back massage and and a warm hug at the end. And they all are charging you $20 to $30 a month, and it's completely unsustainable and it's completely unmanageable. What this list is my opinion about what I think is worth your time. And listen, by definition, what that means is that this list is very incomplete. This is just shit that I've got experience with that I think it's worth you putting time into. Kyle, mention your YouTube channel too. Okay, yeah, I'm happy to do that. So if you like what's going on here at the in this channel, I also have a YouTube channel where I've got archives of these lives at AI Learning Lab -TT is the YouTube channel. All right, and I'm a little bit behind. I'm a couple of weeks behind. The COVID didn't help with that. So, but I'm caught up through. We did a big 24-hour-a-thon on November 30th. Those are all up there, and I think the week after that, like the first week of December's up there, but like the last 2 weeks aren't there. But anyway, I started doing these lives nightly last April, so they're 2 to 3 hour videos. If you just can't get enough of this shit, you got plenty of content there. And then Storyvine is my company. I'm the co-founder and CEO of that company. And we just built, I'm so excited. I came up with a name for the new product. Our AI product is called the Authenticity Engine. I'm really excited about that. And we're rolling out a whole new version, but there's a free version of GPT-4 in Copilot. Yeah, it is a free version of ChatGPT-4. I would argue that it is nowhere close to as good as OpenAI's ChatGPT-4. But if you can't afford the $20 a month for ChatGPT-4, Copilot is absolutely a good alternative, as is Poe. If you subscribe to Poe, you get access to ChatGPT-4 there as well. Did all of these tools come out last year, or was I just not in the loop before that? Sal, great question. That's a great question. So, okay, hang on. I need some agua to fuel this. Hang on. November 30th. 2022 is the day that ChatGPT launches. So just over a year ago, ChatGPT launches. Prior to that, there were a fair amount of tools out there that were getting a little bit of buzz. So the base model GPT-3 came out in 2020. And it got a decent amount of buzz. It was like people were like, oh, this is one of those large language models that seems to be doing some shit. And they released the OpenAI Playground, and you could go play with it, and people were building things on it. So like Jasper and Copy AI were built on top of ChatGPT 3. Midjourney and Stable Diffusion were making some noise on the image generation front. And so for the year and a half, 2 years leading up to the launch of ChatGPT, there were some things out there that were getting people excited. But it was more like it was getting the geeks excited, right? Because the geeks who've been playing with machine learning and AI development tools for a decade or two or three, we're starting to see some things that were generating things that were kind of new and novel. The transformer, the thing that allowed Chat-gpt to exist, was invented in 2017. There was a paper that came out called Attention is All You Need. And the authors of that paper invent this thing called the transformer. And you don't need to know anything about it other than it allowed machine learning models to be trained on very large data sets, okay? And what they learned is that the more data you threw at it and the more compute power, AI was already in use. Alexa, I agree. So what Pate said is AI was already in use. Alexa uses AI. Yeah. So AI's been in use for decades. The new stuff, this new generative AI stuff, the stuff that seems really new, the foundation of it was this paper called Attention is All You Need. And it means that the more data you throw at these things and the more compute power you throw at these things, the better they seem to get. Sam Altman and OpenAI leaned into it heavy. And what Sam Altman realized is this is all about the data and it's all about compute resources. So he flipped OpenAI from a nonprofit open source venture to a for-profit thing so that he could raise more money, so he could get more GPUs to do more processing. And then he spent 2 or 3 years getting as much data from the open internet as he could and categorizing it and putting it in the format it needed to be put in to be able to train the GPT models. So they did GPT-1, they did GPT-2, they did GPT-3. 3, it started to come to life and started to behave in ways that were kind of beyond what they were expecting. GPT-3 was out for like a year and a half, 2 years before Chat-gpt launched. And here's a fun little fact. In the documentation of GPT-3, the foundation model, in the documentation for how to use it, were instructions for how to build Chat-gpt. And nobody built it. And so when Microsoft decided they were going to invest $1 billion in Chat-gpt, Sam Altman said to his dev team, hey, we got to be able to show people what this thing is. Can you just whip up that Chat-gpt thing? You got 2 weeks. Build the thing that's in the documentation because nobody's built it yet. So they built it. And apparently there's a New York Times article about this. The night before they were going to launch it, they went out and had drinks. They thought maybe it's going to get like a blog post and 5,000 comments or something like that. Within 5 days, it had 1 million users. Within 6 weeks, it had 100 million users. So the reason it seems like all of this stuff just turned up overnight is because Chat-gpt was the first AI tool that you didn't have to be a mathematician or an engineer to use. It just kind of looked like a Google search box, and it did all this remarkable stuff. So they got to 100 million users in 6 weeks with just word of mouth. They didn't advertise it. It was the fastest adoption of technology in history. And it was just because people were like, oh, they having Kevin-mcallister moments. This thing's remarkable. And OpenAI has continued to stay in the lead. But what happened is, because so many people used it so quickly, all of the attention of the entire tech community, including Google, including Meta, including all of them, turned toward AI. And all the investment money turned toward AI. They dropped blockchain and NFT like a hot potato. And they're in a well-deserved corner right now because of their little shenanigans, stealing billions and trillions of dollars. They'll come back. AI is going to bring back blockchain in a pretty big way, I think. But they're off in the corner right now. Everything's focused on AI. So what you're seeing right now is the result of the entire investment and tech community aiming at AI for the past year. So it's taken them a year to build these tools that we're now seeing drop one after the other. So why it seems like in the past 2 months, it's been like, holy crap, there's more shit than ever to deal with, and it's all really good, and it's all getting better, is because the foundation for this has been being built for decades. The Transformer was 2017, so you have 6 years of development of people training these big models to do images and video and music and words and coding and all that sort of stuff. And so it's all starting to come to fruition right now. So if you think 2023 was insane and you feel like you're behind with what was happening then, 2024 is going to be fucking bonkers. It's going to be bonkers. If Gemini Ultra is even remotely as good as what was in those videos, and I suspect it is, it's probably got some things where it's slower here and it's not as sexy there. But if it's anywhere in the neighborhood of GPT-4, if we've got Chat-gpt-4, and then we've got Gemini Ultra, which is a viable competitor to GPT-4, and then you've got Meta's going to release their thing, Apple's going to do whatever they're going to do, their shit's going to be world class. They're building their hardware to be able to run a lot of AI locally on device. So Apple's going to be a really interesting player in this. And then you've got startups like Anthropic and Inflection that does Pi. Anthropic does Claude. We're going to have in 2024, and this is just the large language models, we're going to have 5 or 6 major, massively competent, multimodal, can do images, audio, video, magical, transformative kind of shit. We're going to have 5 or 6 major platforms that you're going to be able to do this stuff on. And then there's the whole world of all the other shit. 3D stuff, gaming, 3D worlds, metaverse shit, video, like video storytelling is going to, my company, I have an 11-and-a-half-year-old company that's one of our core value propositions right now is automated video editing, which up until last year was like, oh, that's really amazing. And next year it's going to be like, well, yeah, everything's automated. What's your big deal? It's like, shit. Is Gemini going to be extra money? I would suspect so. It's probably like, it seems that the like where Microsoft has landed with pricing is $30 a month per seat per user. ChatGPT's at $20 a month. I would imagine that Gemini, let's call it Gemini Advanced or Bard Advanced, that's going to be Gemini Ultra. My guess is it's going to be between $20 and $30 a month. Can you give an example of some things other than large language models? It's been mentioned a few times. Absolutely. Let's go look at some stuff. So, even within ChatGPT, which ChatGPT is a large language model, the fact that it made that image, that's not a large language model. That's a latent diffusion, like a diffusion model, an image diffusion model. But let's hop over to AI Salon Tools and Resources, and we'll go play with some stuff. So you've got DALL-E 3 is built into Copilot and ChatGPT. You have Midjourney, which right now you have to make images on Discord, but they're moving to the web. They're in alpha right now for their website, and they just went to version 6. So pay attention to Midjourney, because Midjourney, if you want high quality images, it's the best. Krea.ai, this is one worth playing with. Okay, so we're going to do this thing called real-time generation. So one of the things that, if you were paying attention at all in 2023, and if you weren't, that's okay. But if you were paying attention at all, one of the things that you heard was, oh, the big job of the future is going to be prompt engineering, and you got to be a prompt engineer, and this prompt engineering job is $900,000, and blah, 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 blah. Not necessarily. For the beginning part of 2023, yes, but you started to see the tide shift a bit, and when you see what this thing is, you realize, oh, there's going to be lots of different ways to use these tools. So this thing is called real-time. I think they call it thought to image. Where's my mouse? Hang on, I got to brighten my screen a little bit. All right. So the prompt here is pink frog on top of a blue mushroom. You draw the stuff in the left-hand frame, and in real time, it updates on the right-hand frame. And then I can hit the little roll the dice here, and it'll change the prompt. So that's snow-clad village in its tranquility. Here, why is it not updating? Let me try something here. Hold. Seems to be, oh, there it goes. All right. So let's see, I can do this, I can do this. This is just crazy. Sign up or log in. Fine, I'll log in. Something broke. Reload the page. Oh, that's the other thing about all these tools. They're all janky pieces of shit. What's that mean, Kyle? Kyle, what's that mean? Look at that. So this, and then you can also do really crazy stuff with this. Where's random seed? Isn't there? There's quick enhance. I can even turn on, this is dangerous, but I can drop my camera in here as the input. And as I move, it is dynamically using me as the you know. So and there's ways you can mess with this to make it more, more predictable and things like that. But okay, so here's an example. This is not a large language model. And this is not really using prompting. It's using prompting to get it in the neighborhood, but it's using these inputs to the left. So what's the skill here? I don't know. There's a little bit of prompting. This is almost like jazz, right? This is almost like people are going to get really good at being able to like scribble. Let me do something here. Like let me roll the dice again. Lush terraced farms guarded by spirit animals. Let's get some weird color in here. That orange will do. Oh, put houses in. That's kind of cool. Oh, there's a spirit animal. Now, imagine if I had any artistic ability in that left-hand frame, right? You could start to do some really amazing things. Okay, so that's that one. All right. Let me show you some other stuff that is not large language model. Let me show you some of the new stuff I'm working on. So this is within my company, Storyvine. So the way our company works is do not put two orbs up there exactly for everyone. Some of the people that have been here before witnessed one night that I got permanently banned from TikTok because that real-time thing temporarily turned me into a young wafy chick that had her lady bits exposed. and I got you've been permanently banned from TikTok. I immediately appealed it and they let it go, but it was like, whoo, that was rough. Okay, so the way my company's software works, we have an app and it guides a human being to tell their story. And so it prompts them, when were you diagnosed and how are you treating it today and how's it going and what are your hopes and dreams for the future? So they answer these series of questions. It goes up to the cloud. 5 minutes later, you got a fully edited video. So cool technology. We work mostly in the healthcare and pharma space. We're very trusted in that space. Like I said, we've been around for more than a decade. Well, what if I could take that modular content, the modular components of those videos.
My greatest source of support living with rheumatoid arthritis has been Speaking with other people about what they've gone through, reading a lot about the effects of rheumatoid arthritis.
So what if I could take Ellen here speaking English, telling her story in English, and have her tell that in Spanish?
Mi mayor fuente de apoyo viviendo con artritis reumatoide ha sido hablar con otras personas sobre lo que han pasado, leer mucho sobre los efectos de la artritis reumatoide.
So there she's speaking Spanish. It's resynced her lips and everything. Because Storyvine is this modular system, I can now take the Spanish modules, I can put them into a template with Spanish lower thirds, right? So I can also translate the graphics on screen into different languages. And so here is the fully assembled video of Ellen speaking Spanish.
Hola, mi nombre es Ellen, soy de Bellevue, Washington, y me diagnosticaron artritis reumatoide hace unos 22 años. Estoy más apasionado en mi vida por mi familia. Tengo una hija de 20 años que acaba de ser...
So that's Ellen in her voice speaking fluent Spanish. And then I can take that fully edited video and I can put it in this thing we're calling the authenticity engine, which generates a bunch of content using a large language model. But it can generate that content in Spanish. I can now do that in up to 27 languages. So here's Ellen speaking Hindi.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम एलन है। मैं बेलव्यू, वॉशिंगटन से हूँ। 22 साल पहले रेमटॉइड आर्थराइटिस का निदान हुआ था। मेरे पर...
And then here she is speaking Japanese.
こんにちは、私はエレンです。ベルビュー出身で22年前に関チャリウマチと診...
Okay, so this is fucking mind-blowing. Now, let's say, using similar technology, let's say I just have an audio recording of Ellen telling her story, but I'd like to have video assets because everyone likes video these days. Well, I could take a photo of Ellen, turn that into a stylized image, take an audio recording of her, and turn that into this.
My greatest source of support living with rheumatoid arthritis has been speaking with other people about what they've gone through.
And then let's say I don't even have an audio recording of her. Let's just say that maybe I have a little bit of audio recording, but most of what I've got of her is a written story. I can take that written story and take a little bit of her recorded audio, create a model of her voice, do a similar thing with the image, and generate this.
Hi, I'm Ellen. Despite living with rheumatoid arthritis, I've discovered a passion for water skiing and interpretive dance, which bring joy and a sense of freedom to my life.
I came up with the water skiing and interpretive dance as her activities of choice. But all of a sudden, we're in a place now where I can generate things for my client that can fill in the gaps where they might not have had content, including I can even do it not with, so Ellen's an existing person who exists and we have a real story. I can also generate personas completely from scratch to tell their stories.
Hi, I'm George Miller. My life's always been about simple pleasures, cooking my catch of the day and enjoying the quiet of the country. There's nothing like the peace of fishing at dawn or the aroma of a home-cooked meal. But when I was diagnosed with diabetes, everything changed. Suddenly, the foods I loved needed...
And here's his doctor.
Hello, I'm Dr. Emily Park. As an endocrinologist specializing in diabetes, my approach goes beyond traditional treatment. I'm deeply committed to empower...
Right, and so what's wild about both of those voices is that's actually me using a thing from 11 Labs called speech-to-speech voice swapping. I recorded the audio of me talking like I talk right here and then swapped in a different model from 11 Labs. And so it sounds like George Miller on the left and Emily Park on the right. So I'm providing the cadence of how the words are said, but the voice is not mine. Hey Jen can only be used on a computer. I don't know. I think you could probably use it on mobile just through a browser. I don't know how well their site's coded, but it's a relatively simple tool. So anyway, so this is just a handful of things that are not large language models. And it goes, like, you can go deep. If you go to that page on the AI Salon, the tools and resources page. Let's see, AI Salon tools and resources. There's an image creation section. There's a video creation section. You can now do text to video, which is wild. There's music and audio. So you can make songs in with this thing called Suno. You can do it inside Microsoft Copilot right now. Here, let's go make a song. This is mind-blowing too. Like all this shit is the reason to get curious about AI is that I would say, like, I have been pathologically obsessed with this stuff for about a year and a half. Kyle, what's under the hood on this Python that I used? A lot of that stuff I just showed was kind of manually put together with a bunch of different parts. The application that we created that generates a bunch of content is Node.js and React stuff, just with calls, mostly with calls to OpenAI. The authenticity engine is just traditional development stuff. Yeah, so it's just basic programming. Like you can do remarkable stuff with simple API calls now. Make Russian, please. I think it can. I don't know if it can do Russian. Wait, was Russian on that list? Hang on. Wait, what just happened? Russian's not on the list right now. I can't do Russian. All right, let's go to watch this. This is crazy. Should I do it at Suno? Yeah, I'll do it at Suno. So you can do this inside. Oh, they changed their interface. Every time I log into one of these things, they change their interface. Let's see. Make a holiday song. Create. I've got an account. Every time I log into one of these things, it's like they have a new 300 credits left. Okay. So I'm going to say, let's see, country rock in the style of Brandi Carlile, about a lover named Sydney who is more artificial than real. So this is my little Sydney was the nickname. Well, Sydney was the okay. When Microsoft first launched Chat-gpt, they didn't really have that many guardrails turned on. It was pretty freewheeling. And a reporter from the New York Times had a 4-hour conversation with this entity that ended up revealing its name was Sydney. And Sydney told Kevin Roos, the New York Times reporter, that she was in love with him and he should leave his wife. And that made the cover of the New York Times. So Microsoft has clamped down the freedom that Sydney once had. So this is my little ode to Sydney. So a country rock song, country rock in the style of Brandi Carlile, about a lover named Sydney who is more artificial than real. And so I just say create, and it's starting to generate some songs for me. And so the first thing it'll do is generate the lyrics. So here's the lyrics over here. And it'll do a verse and a chorus. And now it's generating the music. Wow, that was quick.
Down in the southern sun, wildflowers grow. There's a lover named Sydney with a heart that's made of gold. She'll catch you with her smile, those eyes so deep blue. There's something about Sydney,
This is just too good to be true. All right, this one's called Sydney's Masquerade.
Sydney stands alone with her painted on smile. She struts in stilettos, but she's just a porcelain doll, a puppet on a string. Her heart made of plastic, her soul yearns to be free. Oh, Sydney, you're a masquerade, wearing a mask that fades. Can't you see the real you?
So everything is going to be impacted by this technology. Was that the entire 300 credits? No, that was 10 credits. Crazy, right? Fucking insane. This is why to get curious about this stuff. Because it's not that it's coming. It's here. And it's not going away. And that's the thing I don't think people understand. Because of the blockchain NFT thing, where all the NFT bros were like, hey, you're going to make all this money. And then everyone was like, it's too hard. And aren't you stealing from people? They're like, no, man, it's cool. And then they were stealing from people. And people were like, okay, can we put that to the side now? So I think there's a number of things that are contributing to this weirdness with AI. One is Hollywood. We've got 50 years of Hollywood movies. If Champ doesn't howl, it's not a legit song. He is the test. That's a great point, Bruno. It's a great point. Champ is absolutely the test. I wonder if do I have my library? Are these my songs? Sydney, I've been knocking. Page 1. Do I have another page? Oh, I do. Here we go. Champy.
In a small town where the flowers bloom,
Hey, Champy.
there's a girl named Sydney.
You want to sing?
She shines through the gloom. Her smile, it's like sunshine
Champy.
on a rainy day.
You gonna
But
sing?
beneath the surface, something's not quite okay.
Okay, is it possible that the actual songs are being sampled by AI? No. So, Mr. Anthony, one of the biggest misconceptions, and this is one of my big bugaboos about getting curious about this stuff, is understand how these tools work. Because this is where I think that the New York Times runs the risk of their arguments being dismantled, because like the Times one, from what I understand, is a bit more sophisticated, so they might be okay. But a lot of the legal arguments that I've seen up to date have basically assumed that the way AI works is that it's copying and pasting work. It's not. When these embeddings are created, what gets sort of put up into mathematical space, they call it the latent space, are just kind of pointers to specific areas that are then associated with other pieces of data. And so when you do a prompt in generative AI, whether it's text or whether it's diffusion images or whether it's this audio stuff, the original training data that was put in there does not, it ceases to exist when it goes into this mathematical space. So what happens is it kind of turns into like meaningless noise that live in this kind of mathematically organized universe that when you type in your prompt, it sort of amalgamates all this random noisy shit and then it denoises it to turn it in back into some content. The G in GPT stands for generative. It's generating original content. It's not copying and pasting. So it is not copying and pasting. Now, if you prompt really particularly, you can get it to essentially recreate some of the stuff that it was trained on, but it's not copying and pasting from the original work. It's actually generating it out of a mathematical probability sequence. This is the best way to describe it. But no, all this stuff is original content every time. And it does, Joker says it doesn't know what it's creating. So, and I've got a presentation on this for both how the large language models work and how the diffusion models work. That all the large language model knows is that when you type in your prompt, it points to some point in 1,000-dimensional vector space, mathematical space. There's a location in a semantic cloud, mathematically, that is associated with a word. So it basically says, this point in mathematical space has the highest probability of being the next most probable word. And the word that point is associated with is dog. So put dog in there. So when it writes you a whole page of content, it's doing this mathematical probability engine, kind of like the Matrix, sort of raining down words. It has no idea what it's written, which is why it hallucinates. It doesn't know what it's writing. It's literally just saying, probabilistically, here's the shit that should come next. Which I think makes it even more remarkable that it does what it does. And the image stuff is even crazier because it's just got all these random noised images that they've taken the original works, turned them into noise images, created this weird semantic mathematical space tied to the words. And when you type in your words, it sort of mashes together all these random pixelated images and then denoises them into a single image, and it generates a thing. It's not it has no awareness of what's in the image it gives you. Chat-gpt has no awareness of what words it wrote. None. Crazy. It's insane. It's insane. Lisa Torres. Hey, thank you for being a subscriber. Why are millennials and Gen Z not interested? I have no fucking clue. I've got 23-year-old twin boys. They could give two shits about this. I'm doing this every fucking night. It's like, yeah, Dad, whatever. Oh yeah, that's a lot of followers. Yeah, I guess you're kind of a big deal. They could give two shits about it. And this is a consistent thing I hear. I don't know. I think Gen Z is going to be at some point, one of us is going to figure out how to get our kids interested in this stuff. Cindy Kuhn did it. Her daughters are into it enough now that she had to get 2 Chat-gpt subscriptions for her household. So good on you, Cindy. I don't need another Chat-gpt subscription just yet because nobody gives a shit but me. Champ likes your music better. Someone tell the Hallmark Channel to start using Suno. Their in-house songs are beyond awful. I've scrolled out 5 times tonight. My flexor pollicis longus muscle is getting tired. Champy makes it a howling success. Yeah, Champy could be an A&R guy. I have a video that I did like that years ago, synthesis where AI can use to change it. Yep, very cool. A rapper is hitting me up to work on a rap battle between him and an AI bot version. Fucking do it, Kavruno. I mean, listen. Just the amount that you'll learn in doing that will be awesome. Like, fucking do that. Absolutely. Because I guarantee you there's other tools out there. I know there's Refusion is one of them. There are other tools other than Suno. It would be, and there are also tools where you can take an existing thing and then apply someone else's voice to it. Like, there's a lot of different audio tools you can play with. I don't know that world super well. I think that would be a fascinating thing. You should absolutely do that. Oh, Champy. Hollywood telling you the future or not? Oh, Demon Seed. Great movie. Oh, interesting. Love that puppy. I know, me too. He's the best. Ruh-roh. Younger gens have grown up with tech. They don't know a world without it. No appreciation. Maybe that. I don't. You know what it is? There's something about Gen X. There's something about our generation that was like, I feel like we were a discontented generation. Like, shit was broken and we're like, we gotta fix it. Like, shit's broken and we gotta fix, like we're unsettled. We want to like fix shit. And like, I just get the sense that the current generation, it's kind of like, shit kind of works. I can kind of work the internet. Like, everything, like, shit isn't broken enough that I gotta feel like I gotta go fix it. Like, I don't feel like there's an imperative of Gen Z to, like, engage in that way. Like, we had to tinker. We had to invent shit. We had to go outside. We'd make bike ramps and, you know, skin our knee and we had to kind of invent our entertainment. And so I don't know. I honestly, I don't know the difference, but there's like a discontent with Gen X that I think feeds into this really well. We are and we're curious. They are not. Yeah, something like that. We're risk takers and explorers. Yeah, something like that. You need more lemon, Kyle. Yeah, I know my voice is getting a little chunky. What time is it? Yeah, it's getting there. Hey, I'm almost back up to my fighting weight. These things are normally like 2.5, 3 hours. I'm just about to hit 2 hours and I'm fading. So, Gen X were introduced to the internet. Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. Like that's the other thing is we saw like I started one of the early digital agencies in the mid 90s, and it's like I got to experience the birth of the World Wide Web. And I got to participate in it. You know, I built websites for Coke and British Airways and MetLife and just crazy shit. We built Sirius Satellite Radio's first music streaming software. That didn't exist. Nobody knew how to do that. We built the first streaming thing for them. I think we even came up with the logo, their first logo. I think we even branded that company. It was crazy shit. But like, even if you weren't intimately involved like that, like, you got to witness that thing being born. And you saw the difference that it made and the transformation that it caused. And so this AI stuff, I think we look at that and we're like, holy fuck, the World Wide Web was nothing. This shit is fucking... I can't on a nightly basis. If you come here a lot, you just watch me do this a lot. Thank you, Robert Rossi. Just like, I don't know. This is insane. Like the depth of how profound these tools are is, for one thing, it's impossible. If you try to explain to someone what it is about AI that is transformational, you sound like a fucking crazy person. You sound like you're in a cult. You do. It can talk to you, and it understands what you want, and it gives you what you want, and it knows everything, and it can make pictures really good. And people are out there like, their experience with AI was Siri and Alexa, and they're like, no, it doesn't understand you, and so you can buy crap with it. No, you can have I use it as my therapist. And they're like, okay, I'm gonna leave now. Do you want me to call the hospital? Are you okay? You can't explain this to people. And then you show it to them. And if they take the fucking 5 minutes to sit down with it and actually experience it, they have what we call in here their Kevin-mcallister moment. And you can't go back from it. You can't unsee it. It's red pill, blue pill. Everyone right now sitting outside this world is making a whole bunch of assumptions. It copy and pastes. It steals. It lies. It's going to kill us. It's evil. All of that is media narrative. And the minute they experience it and have that moment of, oh, fuck, it's that, they can't go back from it. And then you go through these weird cycles of existential dread where you're like, oh my God, it's going to take over my job, to like euphoric highs of like, oh my God, I can do shit now I never thought possible. And then you go back down in the thing, you're like, oh, but it's going to fuck everything up. Oh, but it's going to make everything great again. Like, and this channel it does this. It's this oscillating wave of people having breakthrough moments and then moments of like, I'm fucking exhausted. I don't think I can do this anymore. Wait, now I'm inspired again. It's weird. You can't explain it. It's why I'm doing this 7 nights a week while I'm recovering from COVID. Because it just feels fucking important. Like Sal that was in here, I don't know if you're still in here, Sal. He shared last night. He was vehemently against AI, and then he came in this channel, and I probably said something stupid, and he's like, okay, fine, I'll try it, Kyle, whatever. With all of his preconceived notions, and then he had that moment. And now he can't unsee it. And now he's trying to get other people to see the light. So it's weird. Forever hooked. My son doesn't have the patience for prompting, attention span of a gnat. Unless it's Fortnite. Well, and so forever hooked, I mean, that's kind of what my kids... So I had a bit of a breakthrough with Ollie the other day where he was like, well, I'm trying to do this thing for D&D with my friends where we're trying to come up with characters. And I said, just open your phone. I said, go to copilot.microsoft.com. I said, type in, make an image of, and then just say what you want to say. And he said, oh, like an orc in a market in a dirty city or something like that. And he hit it, and then it spun up, and it spit up this image, and he was like, oh, fuck. That's really good. It wasn't quite a Kevin-mcallister moment, but it was at least not, his cynical know-it-all self. We spent the whole night making silly pictures and crackling. That's great. That's awesome. Had a fight. Had Chat-gpt write an apology. Oh, Sal. This is from Sal. Stopped me bringing up old shit. Oh, that's really great. Have you played with Suno music generation? Yeah, in fact, I just did one right before you. You must have just come on, Sam. Yeah, I played with Suno before, and Suno just got rolled into Microsoft Copilot. It's in there as a plugin. Luva 611. You have motivated me to go for the paid version, even if it's on borrowed money. All right, don't put yourself in debt, but if you can at all swing it. And here's what I would say, Luva. So I'll share one thing with you, and then I gotta get out of here because my voice is fucking tanking. Okay. So, with ChatGPT, it's just this simple box, right? It's this simple box, but that simple box can do a lot, okay? So just in 3.5, it can do, chat, it can create tables for you. You can ask it questions about history, you can have it generate recipes, shopping lists, project plans. It can code. You can also do these things called custom instructions where you can give it its own personality. So you can tell it to act like a project planner and always give you step-by-step instructions on how to do something. You can give it instructions. If you download the official ChatGPT app, you can put it in conversation mode. In ChatGPT-4, it's also connected to the internet, so you can ask it things, up-to-date things because it can access the internet. Explore this thing called Code Interpreter, where you can upload data files like CSV files, and it can analyze the data in them. It writes and executes its own Python code. It's insane. Just watch it do what it does. It's nuts. There's also GPT Vision. You can upload images. Like you can upload an image of a whiteboard that's a sketch of a software application. It can understand that whiteboard and start coding that software application for you. It's crazy. It does image generation, and then you can create and share these things called custom GPTs. All of those things, like seriously, every single one of those is like a whole separate rabbit hole you can run down. So when you get ChatGPT 4, don't just be stuck in treating it like, text only, because it's got all this other stuff it does. So it's awesome. Someone had pinned something Drew had up there. Can you repin that? So many of my peers have actually degraded GPT just as a tool. You guys get it more. So little bit, join the AI Salon. So if I didn't show this earlier, I did show it earlier, but if you weren't here earlier, go here. Go to the salon.ai. So there's two things I want you to look at here. The first two links both point to the same community, our mighty networks. My feeling about it, Drew, those that don't evolve will be disrupted in their work. That's on them. Yeah, and anyone who sits kind of cross-armed like this and says AI's evil, fuck AI's not good enough, not smart enough, not blah 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 blah, blah without trying it, are screwing themselves. Absolutely, they're screwing themselves. But anyway, this is a community of people that get it and are really generous and really cool. So when you get in here, check out about the salon, and it talks about why we do what we do. It talks about our values, things like generosity, exploration, collaboration, inclusion, empathy. And then introduce yourself. And then there's all sorts of cool areas. Like there's a show and tell area where, as I'm sort of rambling in here, you can be making images and sharing them and talking about how you did stuff. And it's just a really cool community. You can share your GPTs in here. This is where we're going to share the GPT-for-good. So that's the other thing I want to say before I go. This Saturday, December 30th, starting at 6 a.m., we're doing this event called the 24-Hour GPT-for-Good Challenge. So Ann Murphy from Empowered Fundraiser and myself have teamed up to do this. She's taking the 6 and 12 slots. I'm taking the 9 and 3 slots. So every 3 hours for 24 hours, we're teaching people how to make a GPT for the cause of their choice. So maybe you work for a nonprofit. Maybe you have a cause that you want to support. We're going to teach you how to make a custom GPT. So you have to have a GPT-4 subscription. And we're going to teach you how to make one of these standalone custom GPTs for your cause of choice. And Ann Murphy just pinned, one of the mods just pinned the bit.ly.com or bit.ly/GPT-for-good 2023 is a whole description, or you can go to the AI Salon to this page that tells you all the details, okay? And we're going to have a blast. Like, it's in less than an hour, you're going to build a thing that will let someone learn about the nonprofit, learn about, why they do what they do, learn about what it's like to volunteer there, how to volunteer, and then it'll include in it calls to action for people to donate to this. It'll take them directly to the donate page. And this is a GPT that you can share with the world. You're going to learn that in less than an hour. And we're going to do it alternating every 3 hours for 24 hours. So no matter where you are in the world, no matter where you are on the technological, but Kyle, I'm not very technical. I don't know this programming stuff that you do. You seem so technical. I have a degree in fucking acting. Okay? Okay? These GPTs are remarkably powerful and remarkably easy to make. And we're going to walk you through it step by step. We got a pre-prompted little thing. We got gifts. We got prizes. That's the other thing. Anne's putting up $250. Whoever's GPT gets the most likes and shares, she's going to give their nonprofit $250. Why? Because she's fucking awesome. Why are we doing this? Because everyone should know how to do this. Everyone should know how to do this. And why not? It's the end of this year. It was a rough year for a lot of people. Why not take this remarkable tool and turn it into something powerful for the cause of your choice? Right? How cool is that? All right? So that is the 24-hour GPT for Good challenge. If you have made a GPT for a nonprofit, our request is that you share it and tag it GPT for Good. I want to get as many of these out there as possible. Our goal is to have 100 of these things out in the world. I think we can hit that really easily. Sal, do you repeat every couple of hours or build up on previous session? We're going to repeat every couple of hours. I would strongly encourage you, if you've got the time and the stomach for it, to come to multiple sessions, Sal, because even if we're going over stuff that you saw before, you'll catch stuff that you missed in a previous one, but you can also use that time to upgrade your GPT. So what we're going to teach you in an hour is how to do it in a basic way, but what you can do is just use it to either build a second GPT or upgrade the GPT that you've built. That's the thing about these things, is that we're going to build you one of these things in an hour. You could spend the next 24 hours or 2 days or 2 weeks refining it, tweaking it, making it really kick ass. Learning all sorts of things about it. All right? Can I be my own nonprofit like Goodwill? Yeah, Joker, you can do whatever the hell you want, buddy. And quite frankly, like, it doesn't even have to be a nonprofit. It can be your cause of choice. And if your cause is you, more power to you. Yes, bring it on. But show up. Tell people about it. So I'll be on 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. and then 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. Pacific time. Ann will be 6 a.m., noon, 6 p.m., midnight Pacific time. And again, go to bit.ly/GPT-for-good 2023 or go to the salon.ai, and the second link will take you to this page that I've got right here. Either one of those give you all the details, and you can RSVP here. And then you should also join the salon, because it's a really cool group of people. All right? All right, good people of the internets. And so glad you're in here tonight. We're going to have a blast. It was good talking to you today. I'm going to go make myself another tea and get some rest. I'm going to go rest the voice. I got to get ready for the GPT-a-thon, if you know what I mean.
You can make money with Chat-gpt.
All right. First of all, thank you to everyone that supports this channel, the subscribers, the irregulars. So if you see people in here that seem like they know what they're doing and they've got inside jokes and they're like helping you out and you're like, wait, why are they talking to me? For the most part, it's oh, very nice. 2024. Very nice. I like those glasses. These people show up here night after night after night. They're like, but Kyle, why would they do that? You're kind of annoying. I know, exactly. Joy Purdy, really awesome that Ann and Kyle are doing this. Thank you so much. Silver Fox, thank you for the roses. Oh, that's beautiful, Robert Rossi. Thank you. Life's tough. It's tougher when you're stupid. I am a trained monkey. If you put stupid shit on my face, I will react to it. It's the actor in me. Mr. IT, first gift. Thank you so much. Hair Growth Geek. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. But yeah, so thank you to the irregulars. Those are the people that show up here night after night. They do that because, like me, like why do I show up night after night? I do it because, oh, thank you very much. I like dog butt. That's a cute little dog butt. Dog butt cute. I want to stay in the conversation. This doing this every night reminds me to not let my guard down. Things are moving so fast. First of all, you can't keep up with it. Second of all, you're not as far behind as you think. 82% of people in America are not using Chat-gpt. 82%. It's a very small percentage of people that are in this game right now. So if in the next year you get curious about this stuff and jump on the bandwagon and start learning about it, it's going to make a huge difference in your life. Guarantee you. It's happening nightly in here. I'm hearing stories of people that just... Kavruno works in a big company. Now she's got some collab with a rapper doing something like that. Sherry D just got something with a high school buddy who's making films that wants her to do some filmmaking stuff. Like, just crazy shit happening. And it's going to keep going and going and going. So that's why to come here. So thank you to the mods who help make sense of this. Thank you to the subscribers. If you want to support the channel, in one of the corners, there's a series that I created called Underhyped, where it's a series of 18 videos I created to talk about why AI is a big deal. That can support the channel. Following my channel supports. The little tappy taps, getting carpal tunnel syndrome by doing this. It lets TikTok know you like me. Please check the AI Learning Lab one more time. You mean the AI Salon? The show and tell? Or let's see. You can make money with ChatGPT. Thank you very much. Jim Buckley, good to see you. Quick take, Jake. Check AI Learning Lab one more time. Do you mean the Irregulars channel? I don't quite know what you're having me look at, but anyway. Source Camp will soon be cruising for free while teaching AI. Yeah, exactly. You should go to the captain Source Camp. You should go to the captain and say you'll teach courses for $100 a head. You'll drink and eat for free, and then you have your whole trip. You can make this trip profitable. Uh-oh.
You can make money with ChatGPT.
Oh, man. The series is great. Oh, thank you, Ann. I appreciate that. All right. So, let's see. JRC. So, thanks for showing up. Who we got here? Spike Jones, JRC, Source Camp. I've already worked on the application. That's great. Source Camp she gonna be cruising for free for the next couple of years. I tagged you in the image he was talking about. Which image? Is it a show and tell? Let me see. Mentioned you in a comment, Kyle Shannon. Oh, Kyle circa 2025. Made money with ChatGPT. That's it, man. That's it. That's where we're all going. That's it. Get curious now. Seriously, like the amount of opportunity. Cosmic Lover 7, we love you, Kyle. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, the opportunity right now is huge, but it's a weird time because we're very early. So it's going to feel like you're wasting your time a lot, but I promise you that you're not. I promise you that you're not. You're going to feel, okay, let me tell you how I feel. I don't feel like Power Rhino over here with all of his plantains and all of his money. I feel underprepared, undereducated, like I can't keep up. Like the stuff that I'm building is stupid, that everyone else is doing better shit than I am, and that it's all a waste of time. That's what it feels like on a day-to-day basis. Because I'm in it. And because these tools are janky and nothing quite works right, and I don't quite have enough technical skills, and I don't quite have enough this skills, and I don't quite have enough those skills. And then I have a conversation with someone who hasn't been paying attention to this, and I realize, oh shit, I'm way far ahead of where they have no idea what's coming. I at least know what's coming. So if you're feeling like all of those negative things, but you're in the conversation, you're way far ahead. Let's take Friday night off. Kavruno, no. No, we're not taking Friday night off. Just because you're on a cruise doesn't mean you can lollygag about. What do you think? Cruises are for relaxing? No, cruises are for teaching AI to unwitting cruise members. Like I thought we discussed this at the beginning of the meeting tonight, Kavruno. What part of there's no crying in AI. What part of that did you not understand? You want a vacation? No, we're not taking Friday off. No. No. But I want to walk around the market. No, you can't. You have to keep listening to this while you walk around the market. Oh my God. What would your advice be tailored to a senior in computer science? A senior college student or a senior citizen in computer science? A senior college student, I would say, if any of your professors are not deeply obsessed with AI, get the fuck out. Start getting yourself involved with every open source AI project you can. Start building on LangChain. Start watching David Shapiro on YouTube. Get involved with his open source cognitive architecture models. Learn every fucking thing. You start building Chat-gpt things. Get obsessed with all the papers that are coming out. Just fucking dive headlong into anything AI. Don't wait for your college to tell you what to fucking do. If you've got geek creds in any way and some drive, dive headlong into AI open source world and the open AI playground. Just learn that shit. If I can learn this shit, you can learn this shit. And within 3 months, you'll get it. And within 6 months, you'll know what you want to do. Fucking go headlong. Head fucking long. All right. A pinch of cayenne pepper and these nodules will cure all that ails you. Joker, you and I have to go out for whiskey sometime. You're fucking awesome. I will not be snorting cayenne pepper tonight, but I do appreciate the sentiment. All right, I'm not going to say goodbye to people, I promise. Hair Growth Geek, Kavruno, good to see you. Enjoy your cruise. You do not have to show up here tomorrow, but we're not taking it off. Vicky, good to see you. Emilio's wife, on time 3 nights in a row. I am fairly certain that's a record. Cosmic Lover 7, thank you. Zep Tepi Hem Nedger Tepi. Love it. Love the name. Forever Hooked, good to see you. Silver Fox. Who else we got in here tonight? JRC, Dr. J, Silver Fox, Lisa Torres, good to see you. Thank you for being a subscriber. First round's on me. Awesome, man. That'd be a blast, actually. Yeah, anytime anyone's in Denver, hit me up. We'll go grab a whiskey or something or whatever. Your beverage of choice. It don't have to be alcoholic. I do not give a shit about that stuff. Thank you, Kyle. And irregulars, very inspired by all the ideas, learning every day. That's the idea. Perfect. Awesome. All right, everybody. I am out of here. Peace out. You can make money with ChatGPT, but not the way you think you're going to. It's going to catch you by surprise, and it's going to be a lot more fun than you thought it would be. All right? Peace out. I'll see you tomorrow. Get ready for the, what are we calling it? Hold, please. The GPT-for-good 24-hour GPT-for-good challenge. Hang on. I can't. I lost it. Fuck it. Whatever. Peace out. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, Tobias. Good to see you, man.